So here we're going to express a slope-intercept form of a line. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so in order to do these types of problems, here's what you need to know. You need to solve for y, and that's it. Okay, if you solve for y, isolate y, get it by itself, then you got it in slope-intercept form. So where's my y? First thing I do is I highlight it. Now I need to start moving the things that are in the wrong spot. So opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. Opposite of subtracting 3 is adding 3x. So plus 3x and plus 5. And so what does this get me? This leaves me with 2y equal to 3x plus 5. Now to get y by itself, the inverse of multiplication is division. So I divide. If I divide one side by 2, I divide everything by 2. And so I have y equals 3 over 2x plus 5 over 2. Okay? Now, the powerful thing about the slope-intercept form of a line, this is really probably the easiest way to graph a line. Okay, why is it really easy to graph a line in this form? Well, when I have y equals mx plus b, the m is the slope. So that number right here, the 3 over 2 is a slope. Slope is equal to rise over run. But really what's cool is this b right there. That b, 5/2, that is the y-intercept, okay? The y-intercept, where we cross the y-axis. So where do we cross the y-axis? We cross it at 5/2, so that's about like right there. So say I have a line that's crossing through at 0, 5/2. Now, rise over run, I rise 3, run 2. So I go up 1, 2, 3, and I run 1, 2, and I put a dot. I go up 1, 2, 3, and I go over 1, 2, and I put a dot. And I just continue that forever and ever. I go down 1, 2, 3, and then over 1, 2. Put a dot just like that. So you can graph your line. First, you put the dot on the y-axis, and then you count, how high you go up, how high you go over, how high you go up, how high you go over, your slope, okay? And that's how you graph a line. Pretty easy when you put it into slope-intercept form. Okay, so the slope here for this line is equal to 3 over 2. So if you were asked to find the slope, you could do that. Now, what if they say, given x equals 1, find y? What would you do? Well, when x equals 1, what is the y value, right? That's the question. Well, I take it and I plug in. Y is equal to 3 over 2 x plus 5 over 2. So if x is equal to 1, I replace x with a 1 to see what y is equal to. That's 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2, which is 8 over 2, which is 4. So that means that y is equal to 4. Okay, so this point right there is 1, 4. Okay, so if you're given a point, you plug in. You plug into the equation, and that will tell you what the y value is. Okay? Now, very typical problem, you might be asked to find the slope of the line. So in this class, the only slopes we're going to find are slopes of lines. If you want to take calculus, that class can show you how to find slopes of curved lines. Okay, curves are all different sorts of shapes. Okay, so find the slope of the line x plus y divided by -2 plus 8 equals 16. Okay. So how do we do this? Well, if you're going to find the slope, all you need to do is put it in a slope-intercept form, and the coefficient in front of the x is your answer, okay? That's all you got to do. So solve for y. If you solve for y, you can find that coefficient in front of the x, and that's the answer. So here's my y. How do I get it by itself? Well, let's multiply it out. So I have x over negative 2 plus y over negative 2 plus 8 equals 16. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, and so I get x over negative 2 plus y over negative 2 equals 8. Okay, I don't like fractions. Let's get rid of them. Let's multiply everything through by negative 2. And so what does that get me? A negative and a negative makes a positive. Negative and a negative makes a positive. And then negative 2 times 8, what is that? Negative 16. All right, do y'all see how the negatives 2 here canceled? Okay, cool. So if you're having trouble seeing that negative 2 and then x over negative 2, when you multiply those things, this negative 2 and that negative 2 cancel each other out, and you just get 1. That's why it's 1x and 1y. Okay, to solve for y, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So y is equal to negative x minus 16. So solving for y, I've done that. What's the slope? It's the number in front of the x variable. What's the number in front? It's negative 1. So m is equal to negative 1. So my slope for this problem is negative 1. Okay. Say I've got a point 4, negative 8, and I have a slope of 7. In slope-intercept form, I want to write the equation of the line, so that's y equals mx plus b. Okay, so right off the bat, I know that m is equal to 7. So I have 7x plus b. To get the b, I literally take this point, which is on the line. This point is an x comma y point. So everywhere I see a y, I'm going to put negative 8. And everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put 4. And so that gets me negative 8 equals 28 plus b. Subtract 28 from both sides. And I get negative 36 equals b. So what does that tell me? The equation of the line is y equals 7x plus b, which b is negative 36. So y equals 7x minus 36. Okay? And this is in slope-intercept form right here. All right? Let's do another one in slope-intercept form. Right in slope-intercept form, 3x plus 3y plus 12 equal to 0. Now how would I do this? Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. I literally solve for y. Okay, that means if you need to circle y, move everything else. Minus 3x minus 12. So minus 3x minus 12, and I get 3y equals minus 3x minus 12. Divide by 3. Everything is divided by 3, not just the first piece. So y is negative x minus 4. This is in slope-intercept form. Same type of problem. Write in slope-intercept form. And the equation is 2x plus 7 equal to 0. How do I write in slope-intercept form? Y equal mx plus b. So I solve for y. Oh, wait a second. There's no y here. So can I write this in slope-intercept form? No, I cannot. Can't do it. However, I can write in standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So to do this, all we need to do is move the 7 over. So 2x plus 7 equals 0, minus 7 minus 7. I got 2x equals negative 7. So that's 2x. And then we don't have a y, so I can put 0y if I need to, equals negative 7. Okay? And maybe 2x equals negative 7 is better. Okay? I think that pretty much sums up all the different things that you might run into your homework. Now, if you'll notice, okay, if I take x equals some number, and that number here is negative 7 over 2, what type of line is this? This is a vertical line. So if I were to graph this, it actually wouldn't have a slope. So the slope here is undefined. That's why you can't write it in slope-intercept form. It's a vertical line like this. There is no slope. Okay, so it passes through at negative 7 over 2 comma 0. Okay?